Nigeria has joined other African nations in condemning the takeover, emphasizing that the will of the people must be respected and that military interventions undermine democratic governance.
Now, this development raises serious questions about the state of democracy in parts of Africa, especially Western Africa, and the challenges faced in ensuring stable governance across the continent. And so to discuss this further, including the regional and international implications of this, we're joined by Barrister Amadou Tidiane Barry. He's a monitoring and evaluation officer, the European Center for Electoral Support in Guinea-Bissau. Barrister, many thanks for joining us. We appreciate you for coming on, and a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's start with your perspective on what this coup means for Guinea-Bissau and for the democratic norms in West Africa. Did this coup come as a shock to you, observing the elections and all?
Okay, thank you. This coup, when it occurred, it was surprising for everyone, for the people, for the national community, because the timing when the coup occurred was after the election, because the election was going well, and the population, they voted, because we had over 65% of participation, and the military coup, they waited before 24 hours before the result to conduct their takeover. What that mean? It means it means that the coup didn't happen to prevent the country for collapsing. The coup happened to prevent the people, the Guinea-Bissau people, to have the truth of the votes. So these junta, they conducted the coup to prevent the people to know the result of the election. Everyone were shocked because it is a nightmare scenario because when we analyze it, how can or where a coup happened before the result? What was the emergency for them to intervene in the political landscape to stop the ongoing election?
Now, Barry, as we're talking about, the elections, there's a lot of conversation or a lot of rumors, or some observers, international observers, including one of the AU envoys, and that's our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, who has said that the oust president has a finger in this coup, and that the military was working in with his command. I mean, saying that his ally has now been appointed a prime minister in this new junta. And so I do have to ask you, do you think that these allegations are true? Does the oust president have some sort of connection with the coup?
If we look at the reality, not the official statement from the coup perpetrators, we can have this sense of reaction that this coup is different from the other coup that we are seeing in West Africa. In Guinea-Bissau, it is not the first time that the country witnessed a coup, but it is the first time that that the military intervened to stop the election, to stop the National Commission to announce the official election. Here it is the timing. That is the first thing. The first thing. Why did they waited until the 26th because they already knew that they have lost the election. It means that they already have the results, and those results now, that is something surprising. And during the whole day, he was with his phone, he was calling, he was holding a press conference. So that was strange. And also, President Embelo, or a member of his government, was arrested. But the only people who were arrested were the opposition candidates and its party members. So, in all these elements, we can say that this is not a coup, it is a fake coup. Like President Jonathan said, it is a ceremonial coup. So all people are surprised, and even in the country, because when we are online with on the social media, we can see that people they are very critical. They are saying that the president, President Embelo, he has a hand in this coup.
Barrister Tidiane, of course, you just said it now that you call the coup a ceremonial coup, and I'm just here thinking, based on your suspicion, what do you think is likely to happen next?
You know, what is likely to happen already, the junta, they have nominated a new prime minister, and they are going to form a new government. But it will depend on the ECOWAS. Now, it will depend on the ECOWAS and the international community. How will they react? Because these people, they have already assessed what they prefer the economic sanctions that the ECOWAS has already put in place against them than to lose their control of the power of the state. It means that they prefer to suffer in a short term economically and put the whole country in a danger economically for them to gain or to maintain their long-run political benefits. Right now, the ECOWAS, what they can do, since they had already observers there, what they can do, they can announce the official result that can put the junta, that can put pressure on the junta, so that they will know, even though they have intervened in the political environments, they have stopped the election, but people know the result. People know who is the president-elect, and maybe from that it can put pressure on them to restore the truth of the election.
Barry, you have so much faith in the AU and ECOWAS. I mean, we've seen what's happened to neighboring countries around West Africa and how coups have happened in those countries. I mean, Mali is one of note when it comes to mind. Do you think that the AU or ECOWAS itself, the regional body here, has power to sway the junta and hold democracy firm in the country? Because, I mean, our president had to be evacuated from Senegal, or had to be evacuated from your country and to Senegal, our former president.
You know, the the ECOWAS and the European and the international community right now, they are in a dilemma whether to sanction the junta, economic sanctions, but that also will affect the people, because those people, those junta, those military, they have everything. Maybe sanctioning the country will not affect them, but what the international community can do, they can target their personal assets, because they are well known. They can target their personal assets and seize those assets and put sanctions on them. For instance, ban them from traveling. Maybe that can put pressure on them to restore power, because right now where we are, sending military ECOWAS forces there will not resolve the status quo. Maybe it will worsen it, and it means it will be, and the consequence, the damages will be very severe on people. Since ECOWAS is not here for, since ECOWAS is here for protecting people, the welfare, the prosperity of people.
Right.
So it will be interesting not to engage force against these junta, because whatever will happen right now, they are ready to face the consequences.
Right.
And they will do everything to control the power. Everything. And like we said, we are witnessing the same thing in Guinea-Conakry. We are witnessing the same thing in Mali, in Burkina Faso. It means these junta, they are learning what happened in other countries, and also they are trying to replicate the same thing in their country. Because when we take the history of Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Bissau has witnessed a lot of coups. And all these coups involve these militaries. And the country has witnessed a lot of presidents who have been ousted or killed. At least I can remember 6 coups since the independence of Guinea-Bissau, and more than 17 attempt coup. It means the military, they have hands in that, and what we can do maybe in the long term is to try to reform, to continue the reform of the security sector.
Right. Very quickly, that security sector reform that you just talked about, it has failed repeatedly. From your perspective, why does it keep failing?
You know, in Guinea-Bissau, we have the security sector, we have the armed forces, we have the elites, and we have a criminal organized group that I can call the narco-trafficking. So these 3 groups, they are leading against people because they want their interest to maintain their interest over the interest of people. So this is why we can, the security sector reform will not be effective if there is not the reform, or if there is not the fight against drug traffic. So that will be the main points that we need to address, or the international community need to help the country to address, is to fight against the traffic of drug.
Right. Barry, I want to say thank you for taking out the time to join us and giving us your insights this today. And I know it comes at a great cost, given what's going on in the country. And thank you for being as honest and speaking truth to power as you just did. Amadou Barry joins us live from Canary, Guinea-Bissau, as the country has fallen back into a junta following the coup just before the announcement of the electoral elections that happened weeks ago. Amadou, many thanks. I appreciate you for coming on. That's pretty much how we wrap up the show this morning. Chiwete.